on, guys? It's Kevin back again with another video. Now, if you watched my last video, you know I bought the Civic, and I was gonna put some money into it, but I said fuck it. I really don't feel like doing it. But I didn't put any money into it, but I did work on it a little bit, and figured out. I checked the Tommen, it was like 5 teeth off on the Tommen, so I slid the belt off, put it back in Tommen, slid it back on. It actually runs now. It doesn't run great, but it does run. It does idle and all that good shit. Cleaned it up and put the bumper on. It looks like a completely different car. It's not nearly as bad as it was. I know a lot of you guys was like, oh, that needs to get a pull apart and that's not really worth it. It's just more like a parts car. If you put a little bit of work into something, especially something like this, I mean, this would be a good car for somebody to just fix up as like a little fucking, hella flush ricer or some shit like that. I mean, it's not a bad looking car. And the good thing is, because it's gray or silver, a lot of Civics come in silver. So I could go to pull apart and I could get a fender and I could get a door and not really have to paint the car. But I just don't feel like doing that. If I'm going to work on something intense, it's going to be something that I'm going to keep like a project car. But anyway, let me show you how it came out, okay? This is it, all cleaned up. Of course, it doesn't look bad. I got the front bumper back on it. And for some reason, it looks like this car was maybe yellow. Now you can say, oh no, the bumper was yellow or whatever. But if you start looking into other parts, like right here, it was yellow. So as you can see, it doesn't look bad. The biggest thing was the motor just looked like shit. I got the interior cleaned out a little bit. I mean, the wheels are nice, and like I said, I spent $175 on the car. The tail lights are pretty nice. They're aftermarket tail lights. I mean, I don't have a problem with those. I cleaned up the interior. I put the pod in there. As you can see, the interior looks a little bit different after being cleaned up or whatever. This is kind of cool. I didn't have a shift knob, so I actually had an old motorcycle piston, and I actually made it into a shift knob, so that was kind of cool. But as you can see, the rest of the car, it really needs to be cleaned out. I do have the door panel for this here, but it's pointless to put a door panel on when you got, the door doesn't close or whatever. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just, get rid of it like this. Let me show you the engine bay. And of course, yes, one of the headlights is busted. And that's what kind of pisses me off too, because I could have got I actually had a headlight for this side of a Civic, but it would look stupid when you got these stupid aftermarket ones here and then a factory there. So let's just fuck it, just fuck it, whatever. So I cleaned up some of the engine bay. Now this thing has no exhaust on it whatsoever. That's the reason I'm not gonna start it up. It just has the header, but after the header, it has absolutely nothing. And like I said, the parts to get this thing fixed, is not that expensive. Now that it's running, you could do a tune-up, change the oil. I had this old pipe in my garage, so I was just like, just throw that on there. But it needs some attention. But the good thing is it's running, it's not knocking, it's not overheating or anything like that. It's just super fucking loud. Like I said, my neighbors, they don't too much like that shit, and I don't like to get on people's nerves like that. So I'm not gonna start up, but trust me, it does run. It does start up and run. It has no battery in it. I was taking the battery from the pickup truck and putting it in there. Other than that, I still need to change the oil because I hadn't changed the oil yet. But if you look at it, if you look at it from a perspective of, okay, it's a running car now, the body is straight. I mean, even with that door being jacked up over there in that fender, I mean, you get a fender and a door for like $75 and like I said, not have to paint it. It's a straight body. So, it's worth $600-700 the way it says right now. And like I said, I spent $175 on it, and I really hadn't done anything to it, like put money into it. So there's no way I'm gonna lose on it or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And like I said, somebody said, yeah, from a distance it looks badass. Yeah, it does look badass from a distance. But that's from a distance. Once you get it, the biggest thing about this car is the interior. Probably I just don't like I don't like the red. you know, you got to get a steering wheel, you got to get a radio. That shifter is badass, like I said, if I do say so myself. You know, just odds and ends. You know, you could use it as a parts car, but because it runs now and it is a straight body with a clean title, it's not like, you know, salvaged or rebuilt or anything like that. You know, it hadn't been any major accidents, so this would be a good project car, or a good, just like a race car. I mean, not to say race car, but like a car that you take out to the car meets on the weekends and shit, and you just you know, do a swap in it, or, you know, something like that. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all I've been doing right now. Like I said, I was kind of excited for doing a little work to something to get it up, but then I thought about it. It's like, if I get the car perfect, it's still only going to be worth like $1,200-1,500 bucks, you know, and I can sell it for $7 the way it sits right now, you know, just to get rid of it quick, instead of putting time and money into it and then, you know, possibly missing out on something else because I don't have, you know, the time to go look at something else or whatever. So just fuck it, but yeah, that's pretty much it, and I will talk to you guys later.